Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahavakar Kodash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai, in who I reverence. And honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days, right? And to Wadi Yahweh Abashai for allowing me to minister to the elect, all right? And this lesson, I've got a lot on my mind. This lesson, this topic is going to be on faith, right? It's going to be all based on faith, okay? And Lord willing, you'll be edified, you brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning. We're going to start off on Proverbs 3 and start at 5. Trust in the Lord Yahweh Abashai with all thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. So with us trusting in Yahweh Shai with all our heart, that would mean you have faith. That means you're not relying on your own capabilities, right? That means you have faith. You're relying on a higher power, a higher source. And lean not unto thy own understanding, because our own minds, in Jeremiah 17:9, it says, the mind is what? The heart is desperately what? Deceitful and wicked. Who could know it? I, the Lord Jehovah, shall search the heart and the reins to give every man according to what his work. All right? So again, the best thing to do is trust in Yahweh Abashai, knowing he's got everything covered. Everything. Okay? In all our ways, acknowledge him. Everything we do, we're acknowledging Yahweh Shai. So if you're acknowledging Yahweh Shai, that means you have faith. You're acknowledging Yahweh Shai in everything you do. That means you're thinking upon Yahweh Shai. And he shall direct thy paths. So he's going to direct what? Our paths, our goings. Our going-ins and our going-outs. Okay? So now we went to let's go to James 1. Because this is such a journey. The things brothers go through. Right? I haven't been in this for 15 or 10 years. But the things brothers go through in this truth it's amazing. Right? And to still be sane, to still be in the right set of mind, it's a miracle. Because really, the things that the hopeful elect go through, you'd think they'd be in a madhouse. So it's Yahweh Shai that what keeps us sane, right? Keeps us comforted. We want to go to James 1. James, a servant of the Most High, of the Lord Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Count it joy, right? And the mindset of this world is instant gratification. If you don't see anything happening, working good for you straight away, then people tend to lose faith. You don't want to be one of those that you depend on Yahweh Shai when everything's going good, but when everything's going bad, now you don't need him. That's a farewell friend, right? And Yahweh Shai said, "You are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you," right? So with a friend, you prove a friend, and the scripture says, "What? You prove a friend first." So Yahweh Shai is proving his friends. Okay. You don't just call anyone a friend. Oh, this is my friend. No, you prove your friend. Not wickedly, but you prove him. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. That means many. So brothers and sisters, the moment you wake up to this truth and you become enlightened, there's going to be various temptations. Various. Some could just be one or two. Some could be many. That's why it says various temptations. Diverse temptations, Salakia. Right? And the temptation does not make you wicked. Even if you fall to a temptation, it's when you stop fighting for Yahweh Shai. That's when you become wicked. Because that means you fell to that temptation and you didn't get back up. You didn't believe. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. So the trying of our faith, right? is working patience, right? Because you may not be, you, whoever, may not be more patient in the world. But that's what it does. It brings forth what? That patience, right? But let patience have a perfect work. So that's what we want. Patience to have a perfect work. Okay, not running. Okay, being patient, being still, and knowing that every single thing since you've been in this truth has not Yahweh Shai made it necessary that you have all the things. Since you've been in this truth, look at every situation and how Yahweh Shai has what? Delivered you. And there's a reason why Yahweh Shai is known as what? The deliverer. Right? Because again, if you were not in any type of situation, then why would you need deliverance? So there's a reason why Yahweh Shai is a deliverer, because he's going to deliver his elect. But let patience have a perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. And this is how you become more complete in Yahweh Shai. Alright? If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith. Alright? Liberally is in what? Large amounts. And he upbraideth not. He's not going to scorn you. He's not going to talk bad about you because you're asking him. It shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavers like the wave of a sea, driven with the wind and tossed. So it wouldn't make sense for me to teach or to be out there and I didn't have faith myself, right? But you're going to have those, again, we're not in control of it. You're going to have those that genuinely they don't believe. And you have doubt in Thomas, but doubt in Thomas, there was just a few doubts he had. Then after that, his faith was unboosted, right? But then you have those that come around the truth. They're more involved in the world, but they don't believe. But they want to teach you about faith and endurance, but they don't believe themselves. This way, it all begins within us. I wouldn't be doing these lessons if I didn't have faith myself. That's why the scripture says, examine thyself, whether that be in the faith, lest ye be reprobate. You know what reprobate is? Void of judgment. Alright? You don't want to be reprobates. You don't want to be telling others to have faith, but you don't have faith. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Anything. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And we don't want to be double-minded. We want to be sure. Okay. So now we went to that. Sure. And that's why it's so important to take time out to read. 1 Peter 1 and 4. So that 3, according as his divine power hath given us unto us all things. So everything we need, we've been given by Yahweh Shai, which pertain unto life, which is what? The wisdom, the laws, statutes and commandments, and godliness through the knowledge of him that hath called us to what? To glory and virtue. Right? Moral what? Character. Moral excellence, whereby we are given unto exceeding great and precious promises. Right? And the promises is what? The kingdom. That by these you might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. Right? So waking up to this truth and merging yourself back into the world, that's corruption. That's corruption, going back into the world, because this world is corrupt, it's wicked. Why would you want to come to the truth but merge yourself back into the world? Because you don't value the truth. It's either because you don't have no faith. Because there's nothing but corruption in this world. You go back into the world, ain't nothing out here. Ain't nothing out here for you at all. Except for misery and death. Right? But being in this truth, there's comfort. There's joy. Right? There's an abundance, wisdom, knowledge and understanding. And beside this, given all diligence to add to your faith virtue. Right? And the key thing is diligence. I've done videos on this many a times, and you have men that will scoff, right? And yeah, it's true. It's not just you're just diligent in one way. You've got to be diligent with being brotherly, because the men have told me that, well, it's not just one way. You got to be diligent with. Well, hold on a minute. If you're being diligent, that is you being brotherly, because you're taking out your time, you're taking out your effort, rather than someone that's what going missing for 3 days, and they come out of their coffin, shalom, just in a dead spirit. Well, how is that a brother? Does that brother really care for you? Right? And the Lord Yahweh says he hates a lukewarm servant. So you're going to know a brother by the actions he has, by the action he takes with this truth. Right? By feeding what his brothers. And virtual knowledge. Right? Character and to knowledge, temperance. So again, I've been told that again. The longer you've been in this, you know, you become more temperate, you do less. That's rubbish. I don't know who told you that. I don't know who told you that. So the longer you're in the truth, the less you do. You know what that's called? Complacency. Complacency will lead to arrogance, and arrogance will lead to pride, and pride will lead to your downfall. The longer we've been in this truth, the more temperate we're supposed to be. Yeah, in some ways, in that you're more mature, but not to the point where you're not doing the work anymore. Okay, you're temperate. Temperate just means what? Balanced, disciplined. So you become more balanced in the words, and that's it. It's not that you should stop. You don't stop, right? And it says, Baba Kashar, and temperance, patience. Don't mistake temperance for being lukewarm, not doing anything, right? And patience, godliness, all right? And this lesson ain't to the brothers and sisters that are listening, that may not have the means. You're not teachers, you're not prophets. This is not to you. It's to men that they know better. They've actually been called to do the work, but they choose not to, okay? And to godliness, brotherly kindness, and to patience, godliness, and to godliness, brotherly kindness. So how do you show that you're a brother? By feeding your brother with the word, okay? And brotherly kindness, charity, which is agape, for if these things be in you, and abound, they shall make you neither what? Be barren nor unfruitful. You're not going to be empty, right? And unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. So Yahushua will add on to you, because you're added unto him. But he that lacketh these things is blind and cannot see afar off, and hath forgotten that he was purged from his old sins. Right? You forgot that you were a sinful man yourself. Right? But men come into this truth and they act like they're brand new all of a sudden, which we are, well, supposed to be new. But you understand what I'm saying? Men, they get complacent. Well, I was doing this last week. I was doing this 10 years ago. But what are you doing today? You've had many that came into the truth. They believed, what, last week. Then the next thing, they're no longer here. And Yahushua can do that. Have you believe in one day and the next day completely strip the spirit from you. Okay? So there's more. I forgot he was purged from his old sins. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. Do it for you, do it for Yahushua. Do it for Yahushua first. And you doing it for Yahushua, you're also doing it for yourself. And you doing it for yourself, you're also got to be doing it for your brothers. So that goes without saying. You're doing these lessons, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding what? The hopeful elect, those that are listening. Right? And if you're diligent, ain't no way you're a nigger, ain't no way you're stingy. If you're diligent, that shows a man's character. That shows a man's really giving. To make your calling, because many are called, few are chosen. And election sure. Okay? For if you do these things, you shall never fall. So we want to make sure our calling is election sure, because you're not sure that you're of the elect. So that's a good sign. It's not a definite, but it's a good sign if you're giving diligence. So you may be of the elect. Because all the prophets, all the disciples, they were diligent in what they were doing. They were not lukewarm. Right? There was letters being written constantly to the churches. So we're going to go to James, Baba Kashar. Then we're going to go to Hebrews, go into the examples of our forefathers that had faith. Right? Okay. You know what? Let's go to Hebrews. Baba Kashar, Baba Kashar. This is Hebrews 11. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Right? Key thing, faith is the substance. So faith is a substance in this world we're living in. Right? You've got different substances in this world. Some people put substance in their cars, they see that as a substance. Some people, their gold, silver, their woman. The true substance is faith. Nothing beats faith. That's the true substance. And that substance is going to be well sought for in the times where we're coming in, because so many different things are happening. Right? You see them with the lockdowns, more strikes, more train strikes. Right? You're going to have a new prime minister that's coming in by what, September? You're going to have the new prime minister should be in office by September. Right? So many different things are happening. You got the barristers, they're striking. Right? So these are all, more things are going to happen. So our faith needs to be built. Okay? It's the substance of things hoped for. Right? So you're hoping for something. That means you have an expectation. Right? And the evidence of things not seen. So when people think of evidence, they think, I need to see it. No, it's the evidence of things not seen, but hoped for. And it's hoped for and it's not seen, but you're hoping for it because you could see it in your mind's eye. That takes a great level of faith. Right? And to the world, it's bizarre. In the world, it's bizarre. What, you really believe something you can't see? Yes, we believe what we can't see. That's why it's called faith. And that's why not many people have it. And if you have faith, praise Yahweh Abishai for giving you that faith. And pray that what? He continues to what? Bless you and enjoy you with that faith. For by it the elders obtain a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed, put together by the word of the Most High, going to John. So the world was framed, everything was put together by the word of Yahweh. He spoke it, and that's the power of thought. The power of thought is very, very powerful. Right? Think, Yahweh thought of particular things, how he wanted things, and it was done that way. So you see grass around you, right? You see the sky. That was thought out first, before these things were actually came into action, purpose. It was through the thought of Yahweh. He created these things. Right? So that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Okay. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. So Enoch, excuse me just a minute, time. This Enoch never saw death. I'm just burning some incense. Enoch never saw death. Never experienced death. And Elijah never experienced death as well. Can you imagine that? Right? It was translated that he was translated into the spiritual realm, beamed up, and was not found because the Most High is what translated him. Right? For before his translation, he had his testimony that he pleased the Most High, Yahweh. Right? Can you imagine that? And bro, that's what you should want. We want to have the expectation, nah, not looking to die, to live. Because in Yahweh, you're alive, even through death. But that's the main thing. You want to be beamed up. Right? And we want to see the destruction of our enemies. He had this testimony that he pleased Yahweh. But without faith, it is impossible. Without faith, it is impossible, right, to please him, right? Because guess what? Everybody has faith in something. It's just that not everybody has faith in the scriptures, right? A lot of people, they have faith in it. They have faith in their jobs. When they work in a job for ease, so they get the right pay, they get looked after, right? Some people have faith in what their muscle, right? But the elect, would they have faith in Yahweh? But without faith, it is impossible to please him. So the main thing is to have faith. How are you talking about prophecies and all this other stuff? Yeah, the prophet, there's only a few more prophecies and this and that. But you don't have faith. How are you telling others to have faith, but you don't have faith? And it's clear you don't exhibit it, right? If someone's watching your video and you're not exhibiting faith, what are they going to get from that? You're gonna leave them with a bad taste in their mouth. Okay? Oh, I don't want to watch this again. He don't exude hardly any faith. And he only does when he comes around the brothers. Pretends. You don't want to be that individual. I've seen it before. Men that come to camp act. But for the rest of the week, they're not exhibiting any type of faith. But the scriptures do say the deceived and the deceiver are his. For he that cometh to the Yahweh Yahshua must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So you come into Yahweh, believe. You've got to believe he is who? The Son of the Most High. Alright? You've got to believe the records. That he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. There's that word diligent pops up again. Right? So he's going to reward those that are diligently seeking him. Diligently. Diligently means earnestly. With effort, with care. So when you wake up to the truth, yes, you've got to seek Yahweh diligently, earnestly, because nobody else can make you do that. They can push you. They can push you to, but that's between you and Yahweh. By faith, Noah being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet. What was that? The flood. Right? So Noah had that whole vision in his mind. That look, there was a flood that was going to come. Okay? And it was going to drown most of the earth. Moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house. Right? Which he built, all the measurements. Right? And the measurements, who was it given to him by? Yahweh Shai. Right? By which he condemned the world and became heir of what righteousness is by faith. Right? Because the world after that, that's what Noah brought in. Right? Repopulated the earth again. Right? And that wickedness continued. Okay? But it was moved by fear. So if you really believe in Yahweh, trust in Yahweh, you're going to be moved by fear to do the work. To have faith. Prepared an ark. And we're preparing the ark today, a spiritual ark. So when all hell breaks loose, we could be covered. To the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world, became heir of righteousness, which is by faith. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out, right, into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. Right? That's a huge leap of faith as well. Not knowing where you're going, but you're leaving your father's household, and what? You're going by faith. Right? You're going by faith. Right? Then he should receive an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. That's a great level of faith as well. Right? By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, and heirs with him of the same promise. Right? For he looked for a city which have foundations, whose builder and maker is the Most High. Right? Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed. Right? And was delivered of child. Right? When she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Right? Therefore sprang there even one, and him as good as dead. So many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore, innumerable. These who died in faith, not having received the promises at that time, but having seen them afar off, right, through faith, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Right? Just like we are today, because we have no certain dwelling place. We have them impostors in our land. Right? So we're as pilgrims, we're as strangers. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country, and truly if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country. Alright? So remember, we came out of Egypt, 70 souls? Alright? And it says, but now they desire a better country that is in heavenly. Okay? Heavenly. Wherefore the Most High is not ashamed to be called their power. For he had prepared for them a city. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. That's a great sacrifice. Can you imagine that? You have a son and someone tells you, look, offer up your son. People, can you imagine if you were to do that today? People would think you're mad. People would think you're mad. Better lock him up. What? Offer up your son? Who told you that? Right? When he was trying to offer up Isaac, and Isaac, if you can receive it, was Yahweh Shai. Right? And Isaac was going to be what? That lamb. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that the Most High was able to raise him up, even from the dead. Right? From whence also he received him in a figure, by faith. Right? By faith. Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph, and worship, leaning upon the top of his staff. By faith Joseph, when he died, made mention of the parting of the children of Israel, and gave commandment concerning his bones. Alright? By faith Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child. Right? And they were not afraid of the king's commandments. By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh, Pharaoh's daughter. Alright? Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season, because Joseph was raised up in Egypt, in the Pharaoh's household, living good. But he thought, nah, I can't do that and see my people suffering. Right? Esteeming the reproach of Mashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. Right? So he was suffering the reproach of Yahweh Shai, of believing, of what? Having faith. Right? So there's things, spare me just a bit. Excuse me. So there's things we also forsake in this world. A lot of men, when they come into the truth, they want the truth, they want their cake and they want to eat it. They want all of it. They want to be in the world, they want the truth. Bro, it doesn't work like that. It's sacrifices. These men, they all made sacrifices because they saw the bigger picture. They saw the end result. A lot of men, they don't look at the end result, they just look at the beginning. And he had respect unto the recompense of what? The rewards. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king. He didn't, oh well, maybe I shouldn't leave. What if the king does this? No. Okay, he wasn't thinking like that. Okay. For he endured as seeing him who was invisible, who Yahweh Shai. Through faith he kept the Passover and sprinkled of the blood, lest that he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. Alright, when you had to sprinkle the blood over the lintel of your doorpost. Right? Because that angel would come past, that death angel. By faith they passed through the Red Sea by dry land, which the Egyptians are said to do were drowned. Right? By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were come past about 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believe not, when she had received the spies with peace. And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon and Barak and Samson, of Jephthah, of David, also of Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, root righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, right? And quenched the violence of fight, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weaknesses were made strong. Key thing, out of weaknesses. So you have to be, look, you don't want to be weak in the spirit all the time, but there's times where you have to be weak so Yahweh can show his faith. And that's why the scripture says, has he not chosen the weak things of the world to confound the strong, the mighty, paraphrasing? You need that, because if you were strong all the time, then, well, you know, how could that Yahweh's excellence really be shown? Even though you had men like Samson was strong, but how could his excellence actually be shown? You understand what I'm trying to say? And it says weaknesses were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned in flight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised life again. Alright? And others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, right? That they might obtain a better resurrection. Others had trials full of mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover bonds and imprisonment. Alright? And it says they were stoned, yet they were sawn asunder, were tempted, was slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented. Of the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts, in mountains, in dens, in caves of the earth. Right? Had to hide out. And these also have obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. And who was that report from? Was it from men? Or was it from Yahweh Shai? It was from Yahweh Shai. Because a man could bring a false report on you. This man might be a demon, right? And bring up a false report on you. He may say, well, this is a good brother. You know, nothing's wrong with him. He's good. He's diligent. He's discerning. Then the next video after that, the next couple videos, there's a problem. So that's why the truth is beautiful. When you're sincere, it's a beautiful thing. All right? And it says, and not to say we don't have any thoughts. Of course we have thoughts, but again, it's men, they would try to give you a bad report. Or someone may be over them that they have to report to. All right? Because you got a bunch of lemons. You got a bunch of lemons in this truth. Men that they can't really think for themselves. And you may idolize, again, you may idolize another man, but you're not supposed to idolize no other man. But you may do that. Oh, I really look up to him. But what if this man's wicked himself? You got men that they want to, because you have faith. Oh, he's gassed. You may say, well, you know what? This truth is all I've got. This truth is all I know. And you may get a man that may have demons on him and may say, he's a dickhead. He's a dickhead. Because see, you got haters. You got haters and men that don't have faith. And this is what happens when you don't have faith. And that's another lesson I want to get into. The envy. Okay? But men like that, they're going to get dealt with, man. Because that's a hate in our spirit. The Most High provided some better thing for us, that that without us should not be made perfect. So now we went to that. Let's go to James, Baba Kashar. Alright? Ain't no time for that spirit, man. It's all the same penny. Alright? Whether a brother's been in this for 10, brother's been in 2, it's the same penny. And the last hour. Let's go to James, Baba Kashar. Alright. Bear me just a minute. So this is James 3. Okay. And see where we get. It's James 3 and 14. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say ye have faith? Alright? I've had individuals tell me that, oh, see, this is why experience is so key. And this is why it's not a thing where men can't say, well, you don't have no experience with dealing with other brothers. No, I've been in camps. So I have experience with these things and seeing particular things and seeing particular characteristics. And again, not to say none of us are perfect, right? But yeah, a man may say, oh, my faith is just, you know, it's high level, it's just to the roof. But this man may go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's like, well, if you have faith, show me that faith. Anybody can say that. I just have this great faith. But you have this great faith, but you lack experience when it comes to things in the truth. But you're lukewarm, but you go missing. But you have this great faith. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say ye have faith and have not works, can faith save him? So the faith is just the faith and works. The works is the product of your faith. Right? It's just like if someone's going to the gym, they want big muscles, but they don't work out. It's like, well, how do you expect to get them muscles if you're not working out? How do you expect to get them pecs if you're not working out? But a man can say, yeah, I want to do it. That's the difference. You're actually doing it. The saying and doing. I knew people like that in the world. Yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Then 2 years down the line, nothing's changed. And the scriptures talk about not keeping an oath that you can't keep. Don't keep an oath that you can't keep. Making silly oaths. I'm going to stay in the truth. because of this. What? Just, just got reprobate individuals in this truth. Don't make a promise that you can't keep. And have not works, can faith save him? So if a man says that he has faith but have not works, can that save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and the daily food, excuse me, the daily food is what this word. This is our daily food. This is our daily bread. This is our daily sustenance. This is what keeps us going, right? As well as it's physical food, because of course you need to eat, but this is our main food. And one of you say unto them, depart in peace, and be ye warmed and filled. Right? That's that. Excuse me. That's that spirit. Oh, just depart. You get over it somehow. Okay. Be ye warmed and filled. So you've got brothers that are new and sisters that are listening to this truth, and they need to be fed. They're lacking. Spiritually, they may be lacking. And be warmed and filled. Notwithstanding, you give them not those things which are needful to the body. So you can't just say, well, sometimes you have to tell brothers, look, you've got to do studying for yourselves. But when they're new, they don't know anything. That's why you have teachers. That's why you have prophets. So you can teach them what they don't know. You can teach them and you can show them. And over time, they start studying for themselves. The man said, you have faith and have not works. Can faith save him? So can faith save him alone? I'm moving too fast. And not studying, you give them those things which are needful to the body. So you give the things like, someone's sick, right? Someone got, what they call it, bronchitis. You're going to give them a particular thing that's going to help them with that bronchitis. Some ginger may help. Ginger helps with that, with inflammation. So you're going to give the things that are needed. Right? Someone may have a flu or a fever. Some garlic dipped in some honey. You're going to give those things that are necessary, right? And it's a part of what knowing your audience as well. Knowing those that are watching, what they need, right? Notwithstanding, you give those things that are need for the body. What doth it profit, right? So you give the things that are need for the body. What helps? If someone's sick, what are you going to give them? You're going to give them poison, right? You're going to give them what? Poison. You're going to give them that poison doctrine. And that's what a lot of men are doing. You're feeding that men that poison doctrine. And that would be in what? Various of what? Philosophies, false philosophies. And they give them the right thing. Even so, faith, if it have not works, it is dead, being alone, right? So the faith and works go hand in hand, and it's dead with what? Being alone. Need both, right? Yeah, man say that has faith and have works. Show me thy faith without works, and I will show you my faith by my works. So Paul was stressing it, and this is to the brothers that are called into the truth, that know they have a higher calling, and they're not doing anything about it. Right? So that was being stressed by Paul. Okay. I will show you my faith by my works. So Paul was leading by example. I want to show you my faith by my works. And if you seeing that, you follow that same example. Don't believe that there is one power that do as well. The devils also believe. Even the spirits out here believe. Even these masons, they believe in a higher power and tremble. But they tremble at the presence of Yahweh Abishai, right? So, in other words, Paul was saying anybody could just pick up the scriptures and say, well, I believe. So there needs to be something that separates you from others that say they believe, but they don't really believe. And what would that be? Your mindset towards Yahweh Shai, right? Verse 20, but thou, would I know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. So if you have faith, faith moves you. Faith is a motivator, right? So that's what faith would do. It motivate you to take steps